Okay. Sorry, everyone. We apologize for the technical difficulties that we experienced today getting this set up. We apologize for that, but we're really excited to be here today and to share a little bit of this information with you guys about healthy eating for seniors and talk about some different food groups and all kinds of little tidbits of information. So my name is Lisa Polly and I work with Brookdale Charleston Gardens, and Kari is here with us and she's the owner for Amada Senior Care. And we're just excited to be here and be a part of this. And thank you, Putnam County Library, for hosting this with us today. And Kari, you just take it away and we'll go from there.
Great, thank you. So Lisa and I have both worked in the senior care industry for quite some time, and nutrition is something that comes up on a regular basis, whether it's home care or whether people are moving into a community. Their family members are concerned about their nutrition. So we just want to talk a little bit about that today. And just bear in mind, neither one of us are medical professionals. We just have some experience in this area we're going to share with you, but please always talk to your family and physician if you're going to make some dietary changes and make sure nothing is going to interact with either your medication or your health issues. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is portion. Portion sizes don't really mean that you have to measure or weigh everything you eat. Some people find it helps to measure things in the beginning, but once you get used to your new eating plan, you won't have to be so strict at portioning your food. A good way to gauge portion control is by using your hand. So for example, a lot of things can be the size of your fist, like an apple or a fruit serving could be the size of your fist. If you're talking about cheese, they recommend the length of your finger. Pastas like noodles, rice, or even grains like oatmeal, it could be a handful. If it's a bowl of salad, it could be 2 fists. Those are just, and if you're talking about protein, chicken, beef, pork, that's a palm size. The other important thing about nutrition and portion is hydration and drinking water. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in depth later on, but just remember, it's still important to get at least 8 ounce servings of water a day, or milk or juice. Next slide, please. So this is a food pyramid everybody has probably seen a number of times throughout their lives. And this is just a reminder that this is what we should be getting when it comes to the types of food that are most important. 1 cup of cooked vegetables, salad, or baked potato would be like the size of a baseball. When we're talking about cheese, it's 1 1/2 ounce size would be like 4 dice. So it's probably smaller portions than we're used to eating. Next slide, please. When we eat in front of the TV or the computer, we tend to eat more. It's mindless eating. And often those are the empty calories, things like chips. So we always want to be mindful of reading nutrition labels and pay attention to what we're ingesting. And another way to kind of give ourselves a monitor on what we're eating is to have things. If you go out to eat, you could share a meal with your partner, or you can eat half and bring half home. Next slide, please. Unfortunately, as we age, the amount of calories we burn changes, and in a bad way. So we need to remember that we're not burning as many calories as we used to, but we do continue to burn more if we're active. This gives you a look at if you're a woman or a man over 50, and based on your physical activity level, these are the recommended amount of calories. Next slide, please. Nutrients are ingredients in food that provide nourishment. So the nutrients are what we're looking for, and they're essential for life and to keep our bodies functioning properly. Keep in mind that when we're fixing our plate, you want to eat from a rainbow of foods. You know, we want to choose the bright, colorful foods tend to have more nutritional value. Things like fruits and vegetables, Whole grains, we want to think of oatmeal, whole wheat bread, brown rice. When it comes to milk and cheese, we want to try to choose things that are fat-free or low fat. And if it's an option, sometimes we want them to be fortified with vitamin D and calcium. Proteins are seafood, lean meats, poultry, and eggs, beans, nuts, and seeds. Next slide, please. Most of the vegetables we eat are naturally low in fat and calories. None of them have cholesterol. It's when we top them with sauces or seasonings that can add the fat and calories. And that, if you think back to when we looked at those nutrition labels, you can look at the labels and see what exactly you're adding to your food. It might not make it as healthy a choice, but they're very important to eat for the nutrients, including potassium, fiber, folic acid, vitamin A, and vitamin C. Diets that are rich in potassium can help to maintain a healthy blood pressure. Vegetables that do have a lot of potassium include sweet potatoes, white beans, tomato products, beet greens, soybeans, lima beans, spinach, lentils, and kidney beans. The fiber from vegetables is also really important for a healthy diet. It can help reduce cholesterol levels and can help lower heart disease. And the fiber is also important for our bowel function. It helps to reduce constipation and diverticulosis. The foods that contain a lot of fiber are vegetables, and it also helps us feel fuller with less calories. Vitamin A can help keep our eyes and skin healthy, and vitamin C can help heal cuts and wounds, as well as helping our teeth and gums. These are some of the things we want to really moderate or cut down in our diet. Sugar sweetened drinks and desserts that have added sugar, foods with butter, shortening, or other fats, white bread, rice, and pasta made from refined grains. Next slide, please. So we want to talk a little bit about protein. Older adults need more protein-rich foods when they're losing weight, dealing with an acute or chronic illness, or facing a hospitalization. Even healthy seniors need more protein to preserve muscle mass. Yet 1/3 of seniors don't get an adequate amount of protein due to a reduced appetite, dental issues, impaired taste, swallowing problems, or limited financial resources. Next slide, please. Research suggests that older adults who consume more protein are less likely to lose functioning. So that means their ability to do their daily activities like dressing themselves, getting out of bed, walking up and down the stairs, and more may be preserved. So even though the research isn't conclusive, it does suggest that adults that consume more protein have better overall long-term outcomes. Hydration is also something that's really important in addition to the food that we're eating. It can decrease in seniors for a lot of reasons. The thirst sensation can decrease, so we're just not as thirsty as we once were. Our kidneys also lose the ability to conserve water the way they used to. And then in addition, as we age, people have more chronic medical conditions and medications, and those can also predispose adults to different types of dehydration. Even mild dehydration can contribute to confusion, fatigue, loss of strength, reduced coordination, and decreased cognitive function. And when that happens, then that can lead to falls, accidents, and injuries. So it's important to stay hydrated, but again, like we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, you want to talk to your doctor first about any medical conditions or medication that could predispose you to dehydration, or some people are not supposed to take in extra fluids. So you do want to clear this with your physician, but key, of course, is choosing water over unhealthy beverages. And remembering that in addition to water, low-fat milk, you can get a lot of water intake from vegetables and fruit, and some of those are listed on the screen here. slide just kind of shows how salt and carbs like sugar can make food taste better, but too much isn't going to be the best for your health. This goes back to kind of looking at the packages and making an educated decision on whether this would be a good food for you to eat. And that's a little bit of an overview about nutrition. Lisa's going to talk to you about the next portion of the slides.
Thank you, Kari. So this slide represents community, and what I would really like to stress about that is, but it is pretty well known that when folks have partners that they eat with, family members, a community setting like this, they do tend to eat more and make better choices with their eating. And just that's something to think about when you're having challenges with getting your loved one to eat, is maybe look at the setting that they're eating in, or eat with them. So we are going to look at now how specific foods can impact your overall health, and what those specific foods are. Experts often put the impact of food on health at about 80%, with 20% exercise. So you'll definitely give yourself a huge boost towards your overall health goals if you pay attention more to what you eat and the exercise as well. We all need three macronutrients, which are carbs, proteins, and fats for optimum health. So let's talk a little bit more about those. Carbohydrates, they are the preferred fuel for your cells in your body, most of the cells in your body. We maintain energy source through carbs, and it's very important for fueling the body and the brain, protecting our muscles, and feeding the bacteria in our gut. All of those work together in our overall health, obviously. Proteins, Kari touched on, those are considered the building blocks for our bodies. Proteins are in every one of our cells, and they're used to build and repair tissues. So if you're someone that is potentially recovering from surgery or have any skin integrity issues, that's something you would want to talk to your doctor about, increasing the proteins in your diet. They also make enzymes and hormones, build muscle, bone, cartilage, skin, and blood. So as Kari pointed out earlier, proteins are extremely important to our body. Fats are also a very necessary part of our diet, and necessary for every cell in our body. They help us to absorb vitamins. So that, again, very important, and help regulate hormones. Fats provide energy and build energy reserves, and they also protect and insulate our organs. I know that with many illnesses, folks do have a tendency to lose weight, and we need to help to manage our nutritional intake so we heal much better. When you hear the word superfood, what comes to mind? A carrot in a cape? A nectarine with a night vision? No. Superfoods, though, are definitely something that we need to look at and talk about, because they absolutely benefit folks. And I wanted to talk about 3 or 4 different foods in particular, and the effects that they do have on your health. The first one, there's many of these, by the way. There's about probably 15, 20 superfoods, as they call them. I chose a few that are common, and just wanted to make sure you saw the impact that they could have for your health. Scientists believe that this is hefty antioxidants, and the walnut may be the answer to preventing cataracts and age-related macular degeneration. Antioxidants are compounds that prevent cell damage in your body. In addition to walnuts, you can find antioxidants in blueberries, spinach, and beets. Raspberries. Flavonoids are soluble molecules found in plants that help prevent viruses, cancers, inflammation, and allergies. In addition to raspberries, you can find flavonoids in broccoli, green tea, and citrus fruits. So one of the things that I wanted to look at this was that it does help to prevent platelet buildup that results in high blood pressure. These juicy fruits are powerful for every age, with Harvard studies showing evidence of a lowered risk of heart attack for women who regularly snacked on berries. So just kind of look at those things, foods that definitely are what I would consider superfoods. If I could lower, my risk of heart disease by eating raspberries, that's something I could easily do. Fish, another very important food that we consume. Omega-3 fatty acids are essential fats that provide energy and maintain structural components in your body. In addition to fish, you can find omega-3 fatty acids in flaxseed, edamame, and chia seeds. This is something that struck me too when I was working on this presentation, is that of course, fish are our friends, not foes. When it comes to your overall health, from rheumatoid arthritis and Alzheimer's disease to vision impairment and autoimmune disorders, the omega-3 fatty acids present in fish can prevent health issues, promote sleep, and pump you with protein. That's a pretty powerful food, I would say. So definitely wanted that on the list today. Chard, magnesium is very important. It's to your body. It's involved in 300 reactions in digestive and nervous system. You can find magnesium in dark chocolate as well as whole grains and bananas. Swiss chard is loaded with nutrients that lower blood pressure and decrease the risk of diabetes and heart disease. I did want to add a friendly tip. If you are prone to kidney stones, you may want to leave the chard behind. Hidden beneath the health benefits are oxalates that can disrupt calcium absorption. So careful with that. Again, always check with your physician if you're making dietary changes and wanting to look at some healthy options for you specifically. These are just generalized suggestions and superfoods that can make a difference. I did want to touch base just a minute and talk about some other conditions or impairments that can hinder someone from having a good nutritional intake and good nutrition health. So just a few of those. Arthritis or vision impairment can affect the person's ability to open food packages and feed themselves. Pain and nausea may reduce your appetite. Stroke and Parkinson's disease can affect a person's food consumption and ability to safely swallow and feed themselves. Cognitive impairment, such as dementia or delirium, can cause problems with eating and drinking, especially in an unfamiliar environment. Social isolation can impair a person's ability to access adequate food, healthy food. For example, a change in a home circumstance or lack of social or physical support can make it difficult for someone to get to shops. Lifestyle diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, alcoholism, and smoking can also impact on nutritional and vitamin absorption. When we're working at being healthier and we are working on our diets, we need to take things like some of these impairments and conditions and health issues into consideration when we are preparing our meals, and just take those things into consideration. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. And I hope that it was something that you could maybe received a little bit of information from, that you can take with you to when you're making choices about your diet. Feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. You can always reach out to myself or Kari. I work at Brookdale Charleston Gardens, so you could always give me a call, and if you had any questions. So
thank you.
Have a good day, everyone. Thanks.